Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into a new marketing battleground, how your brand shows up inside AI answers, from Google's AI overviews to ChatGPT search and shopping agents. If you've heard words like GEO, AEO, and AI visibility platforms and thought, okay, what does any of that actually mean for my e-commerce business? This episode is for you.
Yeah, this is the layer most brands are just waking up to. AI is now the front door for product discovery, and there's a whole category of tools built just to measure and improve how you show up there.
Let's set the scene first. How big has AI search and discovery actually become by 2026? And why is it suddenly a priority for marketers?
We're way past the experiment phase now. Google's AI overviews hit around 1.5 billion monthly users in 2025. Then AI mode alone passed a billion monthly users by mid-2026, with query volumes doubling every quarter and queries being 3 times longer than normal searches. On top of that, Adobe saw traffic from generative AI sources to US retail sites jump 1,200% in under a year, with better engagement and lower bounce than regular traffic.
That sounds huge, but a lot of people still think of AI answers as something users just read. Are people actually clicking through, or is this killing traditional search traffic?
Click behavior is shifting pretty hard. Pew found that when an AI summary shows up in Google results, clicks on classic links drop from about 15% to 8%, and the sources cited inside that AI box get clicked in only about 1% of visits. So if you're not visible inside the AI layer itself, you're basically invisible to a big chunk of users.
So that's the stakes. AI answers and shopping agents are the new front door. Let's define our terms. What exactly is an AI visibility platform in 2026?
An AI visibility platform is software that monitors where and how your brand shows up inside AI-generated answers across assistants and search engines. It tracks things like mentions, citations, your position inside the answer, sentiment, and share of voice, and then gives you workflows to optimize for generative engines, what people call GEO or AEO.
You mentioned Google's AI overviews and AI mode. Can you quickly explain the difference between those two surfaces?
Sure.
AI overviews are the summaries you see on top of a classic search results page for certain queries. Google only shares them when they think it adds something. AI mode is a dedicated conversational search experience where you talk directly to the AI. Those queries are longer, more complex, and it's grown very fast. And in 2026, Google even added generative AI performance reports in Search Console, so you can see impressions from overviews and AI modes specifically.
And GEO or AEO, that's the jargon everyone throws around now. What's different about optimizing for AI answers versus old school SEO?
GEO, Generative Engine Optimization, is about making your brand more visible and recommendable inside AI answers. Instead of obsessing over keyword rankings, you're focused on citation behavior and the quality of the evidence the models can pull, structured data, specs, reviews, third-party signals. AEO is often used interchangeably, sometimes with more emphasis on the decision stage answers, where an agent is literally picking products for the user.
That ties into Agentic commerce and shopping agents, which I think a lot of retailers are nervous and excited about at the same time.
Exactly. Agentic commerce is when AI agents do the shopping work for you. They discover, compare, and recommend products based on your constraints. Visa's research showed about 1 in 3 consumers expect to use AI shopping assistants regularly. Most of them want to save time and money, and nearly 9 in 10 want transparency into how those agents choose. Retailers get it. Salesforce found about 75% of retailers think AI agents will be vital to beating competitors within a year.
All right, let's get practical. When someone buys an AI visibility platform, what does it actually do for them day to day?
There's a common core. First, you get prompt libraries, sets of queries that represent category discovery, branded searches, and decision stage questions, tailored by region and language. Then the platform runs those prompts across engines like ChatGPT Search, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, Google AI Overviews, and AI Mode on a schedule. It scores the answers for mentions, citations, your rank in the recommendation, sentiment, and then rolls that up into share of voice dashboards versus competitors.
For e-commerce specifically, what extra features should teams look for beyond that general monitoring?
You want SKU-level tracking, seeing which individual products appear in shopping agents or AI carousels, not just whether your domain is mentioned. Good tools sync your product catalog, enrich it with AI-relevant attributes, and monitor how your SKUs are represented across different merchants and marketplaces. Era is one example built for mid-market and enterprise e-commerce with catalog sync, merchant and SKU monitoring by region, and geo-tuned to AI shopping flows.
Let's zoom into Google for a minute. How do AI Overviews trackers actually work under the hood?
They start by building a structured query set, mapping categories, intents like informational versus transactional, and including branded, competitor, and generic queries, localized by country and language. Then they repeatedly run those queries, check whether an AI overview or AI mode appears, and capture the full answer, expandable sections, and all citations. After that, they parse citations, URLs, domains, positions, label whether you're mentioned but not cited, properly cited, or absent, and annotate structures like pros and cons lists or product grids. Finally, they score visibility, rank inside the answer, and sentiment.
You mentioned citation behavior being very model-specific. Why does that matter so much for how brands measure visibility?
Yext looked at over 17 million citations and found each model has its own mix of sources. For example, one OpenAI search experience cited official hotel sites roughly twice as often as some other models. If you lump everything together, you miss those differences. Proper platforms report visibility per model and per engine, so you can see, say, you're strong in ChatGPT search, but weak in Gemini for a given category.
Let's talk metrics. If I'm an e-commerce CMO, what geo metrics should be on my dashboard in 2026?
At the top are mentions and citation coverage, how often your brand name appears, how often your domain or product pages are actually linked, and how deep those citations go inside answers. Then, answer rank and share of voice, your position in lists or recommendation sets, and the percentage of answers where you appear versus key competitors, weighted by prominence. Sentiment matters too. Are AI agents using positive language? What pros and cons keep recurring? And which trust signals, ratings, certifications, guarantees are being surfaced? And everything needs to be sliced by region, language, and where relevant, device, because usage and performance differ a lot by market.
You touched on traffic and conversion earlier. Do these AI referrals actually perform, or is this just vanity visibility?
They perform. Adobe's data showed generative AI referrals to US retail sites had higher engagement, more pages per visit, and lower bounce than non-AI traffic. SimilarWeb found that AI platforms drove about 1.1 billion referral visits in June 2025, up more than 350% year over year, and referrals to transactional sites convert at around 7%. So connecting impressions, clicks from citations, and on-site performance is key. It's not just "we showed up" metrics.
All of this depends on how the platforms collect and interpret data. Can you walk through how they build prompt libraries and handle sampling so marketers can trust the numbers?
Most tools start with seed keyword sets from SEO, competitor research, and category taxonomies, then expand them with query discovery APIs, user search logs, and persona-based prompts. Because AI answers are non-deterministic, they sample each prompt frequently, daily or weekly, and run multiple fetches per engine to smooth out randomness. A practical rule they use is treating shifts under about 5 percentage points in a week as noise, and looking for sustained changes of 10-20 points across multiple runs as real signal.
And what about geography, devices, and different model versions? How do platforms keep those straight?
They set region and language parameters for each query batch, like US English versus German in Germany, and often maintain separate campaigns per market instead of mixing them. They emulate desktop or mobile contexts with headless browsers or APIs, track which engine and model version responded, like ChatGPT Search versus Claude 3.5, and store visibility per model. Then, in reporting, you'll see trends with an implied confidence level, rather than pretending every single point is exact.
Let's get concrete and talk tools. The big question people ask is simply, who are the main AI visibility platforms right now?
There are a handful of leaders with different strengths. Era is a multimodal platform with deep e-commerce and SKU support. RankShift is more Google-centric, especially AI overviews and AI mode. WhiteRank focuses on rankings across assistants. SimilarWeb extends its analytics into GenAI referral traffic and visibility, and CiteAI zeroes in on answer-level metrics like mentions, citations, rank, and sentiment.
Let's start with Era. What makes it stand out in this category, especially for e-commerce brands?
Era is positioned as an AI visibility, analytics, and optimization layer for generative search and agentic commerce. It covers major models: ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, Google AI Overviews, and AI Mode across regions and languages, and then goes deeper with catalog sync, SKU-level tracking, and merchant monitoring. It also has GEO and AEO workflows, plus a content autopilot that publishes AI-optimized articles directly to your CMS, and offers APIs and white label options for agencies.
How does RankShift compare, especially for teams that are still very Google first?
RankShift is basically an AI search optimization platform that leans heavily on Google's generative surfaces. Its strengths are familiar workflows for SEO teams, strong AI overviews and AI mode tracking, and Google-centric GEO capabilities. The trade-off is less multi-model coverage and less SKU-level e-commerce depth compared to Era. It's more URL and category-driven.
And WhiteRank? Where does that fit in the mix?
WhiteRank focuses on brand and domain visibility across assistants like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude, with an emphasis on answer rankings.